Hello and welcome to Watson's Weekly. This is a roundup of what I think are the most important and interesting economic and commercial events of the week just gone. I'll be talking about the new trade deal between Japan and the EU, the contrast between consumers and retailers on both sides of the Atlantic, and some developments in streaming and virtual reality. You can get more detail on my website watsonsdaily.com. This week saw a major trade agreement being signed between the EU and Japan, which will basically abolish some big tariffs between the two areas. This will particularly help European agriculture and food exports to Japan, as well as car imports from Japan. The deal has been 5 years in the making, but I suspect that it got priority when Trump started his one-man trade war with the rest of the world. Secondly, there's a real contrast between the fortunes of consumers and retailers in the UK and the US at the moment. In the UK, consumers continue to have their budget squeezed by sluggish wage growth and stubborn inflation, which has meant that the high street is feeling the pressure. This week, we learned, for instance, that Marks & Spencer was looking to take the axe to middle management as part of their restructuring plans. Gaucho Holdings decided to shut all of their cow restaurants in order to survive, thus becoming the latest restaurant chain casualty. And Pound World's administrators announced that all of the discounters' remaining stores would close by August, starting with its head office. This must have got everyone reaching for comfort food like chocolates, as Hotel Chocolat announced strong results this week and talked about ambitious expansion plans. Meanwhile, over in the US, retail sales are growing according to the US Commerce Department, and many economic forecasters are optimistic for second quarter GDP. Higher consumer spending is fueling possibilities of consolidation in certain areas. It turns out the world's third biggest pizza delivery company, Papa John's, was having talks with the world's third biggest burger joint, Wendy's. These talks fell by the wayside as Papa John, whose real name is John Schnatter, was forced to resign after making racist remarks recently, but it would seem that the time could be right for consolidation in what is a fragmented industry. In other US retail developments this week, Amazon Prime had a very successful sales event as its Prime Day sale broke all previous records, and other retailers also jumped on the bandwagon doing their own sales events. US retailer Target said that its own flash sale on Tuesday generated the highest single day of online traffic and sales this year. Although it was good, Amazon's event still has some way to go before it becomes as successful as Alibaba's Singles Day event in China, which generated a whopping $24.5 billion in sales in 24 hours. The third thing I wanted to highlight for you this week was a couple of interesting developments in streaming and virtual reality. Streaming continues to get more popular as the latest figures from Ofcom show that the number of subscribers to streaming providers is now greater than the number of subscribers to traditional pay TV providers such as Sky, Virgin Media and BT. This just backs up the reasons behind the recent frenzy between Sky, Disney and Comcast, the latter of which dropped out of the bidding war at the end of this week. Content providers are scrambling to get together to rally against the increasing power of the likes of Amazon and Netflix. There was an interesting article on virtual reality earlier this week in the Wall Street Journal, which contended that the current sluggish uptake in virtual reality goggles could be solved in a jiffy if hardware providers such as Sony step down from the moral high ground and let the porn industry use its tech. One of the reasons why Sony's Betamax lost out to VHS was because it refused to give the porn industry access to its tech, so it might want to learn from history this time around. The studio in focus on the article has seen exponential take-up of its VR offering, so given that sales of VR hardware is pretty limp at the moment, you would have thought that this is an easy fix. I hope you found this roundup interesting. I publish a daily note on watsonsdaily.com which gives you more detail on what I've just said on a daily basis. If you want to get access to this, as well as my weekly, monthly and annual publications that will help to turbo boost your commercial awareness, don't be shy, please subscribe. A subscription will cost you less than a double espresso per month. Thanks for watching. Watson, out.